Hello and welcome to Doncaster. Today we're taking a first-class ride to London with Grand Central on board one of their Class 180 Adelante DMUs. Located on the East Coast Main Line, Doncaster is a major transfer point between high-speed intercity and local commuter trains on one of the UK's busiest rail lines. Doncaster serves trains from Cross Country, East Midlands, Grand Central, Hull Trains, LNER, Northern, and TransPennine Express. Just west of the station, a few older coaches can be spotted in the yard. These British Rail Mark III coaches hail from the time of the Great Intercity 125 HSTs. Bearing the livery of First Great Western, these coaches would have run on high-speed trains all across Western England. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time here today, which means we won't get a look at the station building itself. Although the interior has been recently renovated, we aren't missing out on much with a couple ticket machines, waiting areas, and a coffee shop. Heading underground, we can transfer over to Platform 1 ahead of departure. We only have a few minutes to wait, but with that time, we can catch a couple of Northern Railway's newer Class 331 EMUs. These CAF manufactured trains fall into the Civity family, replacing the much older Class 321 and 322 EMUs. I have to say, I love the look of these CAF trains. Their rounded front ends and car bodies look great, although it does mean that there's no way to have a single interconnected train set of two EMUs. Five minutes after arriving on Platform 1, our train pulls in. Grand Central Class 180 Adelante number 18112 is our ride south, named after author and veterinary surgeon James Herriot. Our train squeals to a halt and we can climb aboard. Interestingly, our first-class coach, Coach E, is located in the fourth of 5 cars. I would have thought it to be in either the first or the last, but nope, it's the fourth. After getting seated, our diesel engines power up, hauling our service out of Doncaster and on down the East Coast Main Line. As our train gets up to speed, let's take a look at our route down to London. Our journey begins cruising south out of Doncaster, flying through Retford and Newark-on-Trent as we reach 125. We make no stops between Doncaster and London, the likes of Grantham and Peterborough whipping past the windows. Our Class 180 passes through Huntingdon, Sandy, Hitchin, and Stevenage in quick succession, the speeds dropping to 75 as we approach the Greater London area. Rural England turns to suburban and then urban as we cross the M25 and A406, our train coming to a stop at London King's Cross at the end of the line. We'll cover a total of 155 miles on our ride down the East Coast Main Line with a travel time of 1 hour and 41 minutes. First class on Grand Central, like most operators in the UK, is operated in a 2x1. We're seated today in Coach E, seat 13, a table seat on the solo side of the train. Table seats in first class offer around 2.5 to 3 feet between the two seats, which is plenty to stretch out if you're alone or stay comfortable should the opposite seat be occupied. The table is quite average. It's large enough for both passengers to have out a laptop or enjoy a meal, but it's standard plastic which doesn't look very first class. There's also no way to adjust it, so be sure you book the correct seat if you're a passenger with a disability. Below the window we find an outlet and 2 USB ports for power. There's also a power control switch on the panel, a feature I'm definitely not used to seeing on board. The seat recline control is found between our seat and the wall. Pulling back releases both the bottom and back, allowing the seat to recline around 4 to 5 inches. Above both sides of the train are luggage racks for smaller belongings, with space for larger bags found between the back-to-back rows. The physical seats aren't anything to write home about. They're definitely comfortable with plenty of cushioning and bolstering to support passengers on the high-speed curves of the East Coast Main Line, though I'm not sure they warrant the first-class badge. Moving to an airline-style row, we find a very similar set of amenities. Each row provides a rather small 6 to 7 inches of legroom, plus a bit of space beneath the next row for one's feet or personal bags. The tray table is stored in the cubby built into the seat in front. It's about what you'd expect from a tray table, with the same gray finish as the table at our assigned seat. Beside the seat, we find the same power plugs and seat adjustments. If I had to pick one, I'd stick with our table seat, but only if we're riding alone. The extra legroom is a must for someone of my stature, but sitting across from a stranger can definitely be awkward at times, hence the caveat. Grand Central provides onboard service to all passengers. What's particularly cool is that food and drink can be ordered ahead of time via the link provided. All passengers need to do is scan the QR code at their seat and they're taken to the Grand Central portal to place an order. The selection is certainly limited, with only a small set of prepackaged snacks and drinks on offer. From the options, I went with a bottle of water, a pain au chocolat, and a bag of chips, all of which are complimentary with our first class ticket. Hitting submit, our order is sent to the cafe car, the website letting us know our food will be ready in around 16 minutes. In the time it took us to place our order, our train accelerated towards its 125 mph limit. Pulling up the speedometer reveals our cruising speed of 120 mph, just 5 mph shy of the line's top speed. Grand Central provides complimentary Wi-Fi and entertainment to all passengers. Connecting to the network is simple, the online portal providing a variety of entertainment options, including audiobooks, movies, TV shows, and a few games. The full cafe menu with prices can also be found here. If you're enjoying our ride on Grand Central, why not hit that subscribe button? It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. I also want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and channel members. Y'all are amazing and I cannot thank you enough for your incredible support. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. The 16 minutes fly by and we soon receive a text saying that our order is ready. The buffet on Class 180s is located in Car C, the second car on today's train. Heading forward, we pass through one of the standard class coaches. Operated in a 2x2, standard is a more affordable way to travel, but offers fewer amenities than first class. I would have made a quick stop to review a row here, but it's absolutely packed. Just inside the next coach, we find the buffet. Inside the window beside the bar are most of the food options, the drinks located in one of the many fridges. Upon asking the car attendant for our order, we're informed that the online ordering system is down. It wasn't clear if this is a recent development or if it had been down for a while, but either way we had to order here in person. Returning to our seat, we can have a look at our first class snack. From the options, I went with the selection mentioned earlier, but with an addition of a cup of coffee. The pain au chocolat is the standard sweet prepackaged pastry. The chips were tasty, but the small package left me wanting a bit more. The coffee was actually pretty good, brewed fresh to order, and the water was cool and refreshing. Actually, on that note, if you're traveling in first class and need a fresh bottle of water, then head to the rear of the coach, where you'll find a fridge stocked full of complimentary bottles of water for the taking. Free food is always a plus, but with such small snack sizes and a lackluster selection, it's hard to list this as a first-class amenity. Granted, it's worth noting that first class is closer to business class here in the UK. The biggest amenity offered by most providers is a larger, more comfortable seat, with any extras on top of that a bonus. With that in mind, the smaller snack offerings make sense in the grand scheme of things. The English countryside continues to fly past the window, our train making good time en route to London. As we head south, we pass the point where, on July 3rd, 1938, the A4 Mallard locomotive number 4468 broke the railway speed record for steam locomotives, reaching 126 mph. The sign seen here marks the approximate point where the record was broken over 85 years ago. A few minutes south of the speed record sign, our train rips through Peterborough at 120 miles per hour. Although Grand Central operates on the East Coast Main Line, it runs express through all stations south of Doncaster. Bathrooms on Class 180s are found in the vestibules between cars. The first class coach only includes a regular toilet, the accessible facility found in Coach F at the rear of the train. Stepping inside, we find a facility akin to that of an aircraft, though around 20% larger. The rather small sink works, though not very well, with an empty soap dispenser found beside it. The rest of the facility includes the toilet, trash can, and toilet paper holder, the third of which is held together by caution tape. For a bathroom, it's fine. It works for what it needs to, but it could definitely use a refresh in the near future. From above the planes rise the Biggleswade wind turbines. Each turbine generates a maximum of 2,000 kilowatts of power per hour, and with 10 turbines, the farm can generate a maximum of 480,000 kilowatt hours of power per day. While we cruise down the East Coast Main Line, why don't we have a look at some stats about our train? Taking us down to London today is the 12:04 p.m. Grand Central from Bradford Interchange and is powered by Class 180 Adelante DMU number 180112. Each Class 180 Adelante was manufactured by Alstom in 2000 and 2001. Each DMU is powered by 5 Cummins QSK19-R straight-6 turbo engines, producing 750 horsepower each for a combined total of 3,750 horsepower. Class 180s are rated for a top speed of 125 miles per hour and regularly reach those speeds when cruising on the East Coast Main Line. Easily the coolest aspect of the Class 180 is its drivetrain. If you stop and listen to our DMU's engine note as we navigate the twists and turns of the main line, you might notice something strange happen. As we reach an incline, the RPM jumps from a low idle to full power. Well, how could that be? It's because that jump in RPM is actually a downshift. Unlike many other DMUs, the Class 180 features a hydromechanical drivetrain, which uses the power from the engine to directly power the wheels instead of an alternator to convert the power to electricity for AC traction motors. The driveline includes a Voith T312BR turbo 3-speed transmission, which uses both a hydraulic torque converter and 3 gear ratios to drive each power bogie. The rural landscape outside our window slowly transitions to suburban and eventually urban, meaning our time aboard is coming to an end.
International services from St. Pancras. Please remember to take all your personal belongings with you, and thank you for travelling with Grand Central. Please take care when alighting from
Arsenal's Emirates Stadium marks the final few miles into downtown London, our train soon pulling to a stop at London's King's Cross. Following the crowd of passengers, we can disembark out onto the platform. Reaching the front of the train, we can take a good look at the DMU that brought us here. The Class 180s look fantastic. Their rounded front ends and angular eyes give them an aggressive stance not matched by any other DMU in the UK. Unfortunately, teething problems in their early years meant orders of these trains were limited to just 14, with Grand Central left as the only operator of these Alstom units. Beside our Class 180 sits one of LNER's Class 800 Azumas. These Hitachi high-speed trains are some of the newest on the main line, the 180 a contrast from 2 decades prior. With our journey now complete, we can head through the ticket barriers where we'll bring today's video to a close. Next week, we'll be in Portland, Oregon for a coach class ride on Amtrak Cascades up to Seattle. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. If you want to go the extra mile with your support, then check out the channel's Patreon or become a channel member. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.